with SVRA. So if you have one of these Miatas in your barn or garage, get it off the mothballs, get that thing fixed up, and come out here and race with us, because this group is growing. I think we had 35 with us at Road America. As I'm going to send the call over to you, Jonathan.
Here we go then. Now watch for a couple of things. There's a lot of strategy involved in Miata racing. We'll get to that in a moment as they come under the bridge. 2 by 2. Nicely formed.
That is. Look at that. Vintage racers that were Miatas Can't Vintage Race. Look at how well formed they are in that group.
And they cross the line now, and away we go. Tom Fowler leading the way. This the Miata Heritage Cup, race 2. They raced yesterday. Fowler on good form there. Robert Spence goes into second place. Finetti, Robert Spence, and Tom Fowler had a great battle yesterday, and I'm sure they're going to be doing the same again today.
Yep, same group of 4 pulled out ahead with Cash right behind in 4th place. Christian Blevins and Skylar Cottrell.
The man who impressed me yesterday was Finetti and Cash. Mark Cash in the all black and yellow with the yellow wings. There he is. 00. Thank you, Hamish.
Spence takes over. Passes Fowler after 5. Got a better run out of 5. And look for Anthony Frenetti to duck under. Anthony Frenetti is in the NA. A little bit underpowered from those NBs, but has great power. And there is Boris Said, the 4th.
Did you hear Boris's comment? Boris Sr.'s comment?
Yeah.
He was as nervous as he's ever been.
Yeah, actually, I was sidetracked with him at turn 3 on Boris Said Jr.'s first lap, and he turned around to me and said, "This is the most nervous I've ever been at a racetrack." And to know the kind of scraps that Boris Said has been in his lifetime, to say that, and the reason why is because it's tough for these fathers to have their sons and daughters out there racing. To see that, you don't think about yourself when you're in the car, but you have too much empathy and love for your. Spence takes the lead.
As they come, we've got a really good opportunity here because we're really going to get to see Miata. This is why, because of this drone shot. We've got 2 big straights here. This one coming up, and then, of course, the back straight. But it's the back straight to concentrate on because that's where the strategy comes in. Once you get in a group, you could go faster. It's like a peloton or a sort of Tour de France type bicycle race because you can push each other forward if you get into groups and sort yourself out and then slipstream. And then it becomes really quite an interesting battle because you form these groups and they'll kind of do it subconsciously but also consciously and then try to race each other and give each other the advantage. And it's all about timing. It's all about strategy. But they kind of know each other's game, don't they?
They really do. And they work together as a team until it's and then it's all bets are off.
All bets are off.
Sometimes they'll point each other as a fake, but they do want to work together as a team, especially this back group led by Cash. If he can get in a group 2 or 3 with that pink car of Cottrell, they'll be able to catch this. I've heard from the Spec Miata drivers that the fastest train is 4 cars. So if they can get in his 4-car train behind,
after 5, it starts to drag.
They said 3 or 5 isn't as fast as 4 cars. But
That's
if you watch Spec Miata racing, sometimes there's a train of 24 cars.
Well, now this is the shot I'm talking about. The drone gives you a really good example. The top 3 forming a group. Then there's Cash in 4th position. But like you say, he hasn't got a group. There is a small group forming just further back in 6th, 7th, and 8th.
But the second place went side by side there. I think if they would have stayed in the train, they'd have had a better time coming up early on in the race like this. Now, last lap, they hit bank passes.
Aha, here's a pass. But did the lead group there, Ford, pull away from the chasing group, you think?
I think so, because they've stayed pretty tight.
Jessie's just come in and she's in tears.
She said she came in empty-handed without grid sheets.
Oh, well.
It's all right. We forgive you. Now, Jessie, just give me a thumbs up. You got to like this Miata racing, right? Yeah, 2 thumbs up. Nice.
2 thumbs up.
That's Bill Miller, currently in 6th, 5th in NB. So, Bill, thanks for coming out, racing the 17-year-old at Cottrell.
NB and NA.
The NBs are the newer cars, and we were talking about that. It's just a designation on their VIN. But I think they started out, and maybe people can leave us some comments. I think they started out as 1.6 liters, then went to 1.8. But I'm sure we've got some Miata trolls on our SVRA Facebook that would love to give us exactly what it is.
But only in
I'm
Japanese,
going to read
please.
your name, so you better be right.
Yeah, but only in Japanese, please. We've got cars from 1990 to 2001. As the number 49, Alan Cross makes a move at turn 6. And you can see how quickly they're spreading out. Boris Said Jr. not having as productive a day. He's a little further down than he was yesterday. He's down in, what, 9th position, but I think he got up as far as 6th at one point in yesterday's race. Delaney Calhoun, currently 19.
Comes
Here
the
comes
train.
that lead group, yeah.
Anthony Fornetti, a little bit
Look
too
how,
far back.
He's almost on top.
He's in a
Spence
that's good.
having to defend.
Fowler in the middle, Spence up front. That's Anthony Fornetti. I think he is going to win our Mazda Heritage Championship. Hopefully Mark Cefalo is watching somewhere and can tell us all about these NA. And Cefalo has been our Mazda Heritage champion in years past. We wish he was here, but Anthony Fornetti looking good. And I really like that Pepto-Bismol pink car of Cottrell back there. That just really stands out.
Pepto-Bismol pink, yes. That could be an official painting color.
Alan Cross,
Little
up
girl's
the hill.
room.
Good stuff. I do, like we talked about this, it seems like they're making cars to look aggressive these days with like the Challengers and Camaros. I
These
like
don't
that
look
Miatas
aggressive.
have a smile on their face, like the old Bug-Eye Sprite. See that? Their face is a smile, like they're just having the time of their life out there racing.
Coming up towards to turn 6 and our leading group. I think Cash is certainly, Mark Cash in 4th place, is trying his hardest to get on level terms with this group. He's given up on trying to get some group racing going. They're the 67 doing the same thing, but he too, that's Christian Blevins, as he comes through 7. Can't make any inroads. Now we've got a nice little group here
Yes.
with the Pepto-Bismol car at the back.
All right, Jonathan, I love Facebook for this reason. Charlie Davis, I hope you're right. He's saying NAs were 1.6, then 1.8. All NBs are 1.8. So NAs are 1.6 liters, NBs are 1.8, and then Mike Collins is saying 99 plus use restrictor plates.
All right.
So thank you guys. I love it. See? Thank you.
You were right.
We can't be experts on everything.
No,
And we've got a lot of experts following us on Facebook. So thank you guys very much for joining us. And this is some good racing.
Yeah, it is. This lead group. But look at Cash. He's coming. Mark Cash doing a good job. I'm going to take a look at his lap time as he crosses the line now. 1:45.5. About the same time as all the others, though. They're all in the 1:45s. So how close they are. So Cash is making some inroads, but not quickly. 4 laps gone.
But again, like vintage racing, there's great pack racing throughout. So this is the race for 5th place right here that we're watching. And let's see if we can get the 17-year-old native throwing off some sling there. Cottrell.
I'll tell you what, they'll really feel these curves as they bounce along. The tiny little cars, the curve's almost bigger than them. But they bounce right off them. Look at this.
What I love about the Heritage Mazda group, being that they're reliable Japanese cars, we rarely have mechanical failures in this group. So usually whoever makes it to the grid can finish the race.
Well, they're dropping the Pepto-Bismol car.
He needs some Imodium.
Skylar Cottrell from Georgia. There he is in the 99.
Uh-oh, we got a train of 4.
Here we go.
I wish they were a little bit tighter. Not quite a train.
They've got enough time. Cash has got enough time to just narrow the gap to the 3rd place. And if those two get together and under braking maybe, they'll come across the line a little bit closer.
Yeah, let's see who you can really see the differential from this angle of who's
that's what I
getting
like
on
about
the
it.
brakes later.
See,
Looks like Fornetti's got the brakes.
He did, yeah. Fornetti braked later than
he
most.
will be left. He's in a 1.6 liter, and the others are in a 1.8. And just that little bit of a difference on the top end will make the 1.8 liter cars just get away from it. Really shows for the driving talent of Anthony Fornetti to be able to keep up with this group of NBs in his NA car. And
Now, don't be mistaken. It is, Boris said, it is a curly-haired kid who's getting taller and taller, but it isn't senior, it's junior, the 16-year-old.
We got to tell our story about that because we know the NASCAR ringer for road courses. So Jonathan and I did an E-Series for Trans Am that Boris said his dad, the 3rd, joined us. And we kept noticing that in our virtual drivers meetings on Zoom that his son was hanging around, looking in the background. And we just thought, I'd met his son at Auto Club, and he had told me earlier in February that he wanted to race with us sometime. And I was like, cool. So anyway, we're at Laguna Seca in an E-Series race, some simulator race with like 30 cars, and Boris said kept doing weird things. So I called him, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he said, what do you mean? I'm at the shop. I said, what do you mean you're at the shop? You're racing with us at Laguna Seca. And he said, well, that's his son. And I said, well, you can't do that. That's against the rules. And he said, it's not against the rules. If you read the rules, it said the driver's name has to match the driver. And my son, Boris said the fourth, is racing in my simulator right now while I'm at work.
That's
how cool
smart.
is it, though, that Boris said making a career out of being the ringer has a simulator ringer in his son. I just thought
clever.
That was so funny. Always bending the rules, these drivers.
So back to the leaders, and they're still the same as they were before, although now the 68 of Tom Fowler has taken up the lead of the group. Robert Spence still in second, and then Fonetti in third position at the moment. And from high above, you can see how Cash has caught up. He's not that far behind now, Mark Cash. And last lap, a 1:44.6. They're all going quicker. They're now in the 44, so they've all upped the pace. And I think that's because they're forming this group that is pushing them all forward.
Yeah, and, it's all about weight, too, with these Miatas. Watch the front tire and rear wheel of Anthony Fernandez lifting off. But, they've burned fuel. So a gallon of fuel weighs about 8 pounds. So let's say, they might have lost 16 or 20, 25 pounds so far. That makes a big difference in a car this light and nimble.
This could be a really nice finish to this one because these guys are all going to clamp up together.
I like those gloves. Look at those Dayglow gloves. It shows how bad his hands are moving in there. Keep it up, Cash.
It's a dash for Cash.
So Tom Smolinski says the Miata is an MG that works. And I couldn't agree more.
You Americans. You're so rude about the British cars. Are you saying that
British cars?
You basically saying that the Miata is a reliable
other
MG?
Than a Jaguar or Aston Martin.
I love to drive a Jaguar.
The other Leyland cars were beautiful, but not quite reliable.
No, that's true. Those Lucas parts were never really.
We'll call it engineered obsolescence.
Yeah, that wasn't our finest moment. Design.
Beautiful.
Pretty cars, fast cars.
We might have a pass.
Here we go.
Spence on the inside of Fowler.
Spence back into the lead. Now, come on, Cash. Catch him up. Nice overtake. That's a classic overtake at Road Atlanta. And we're going to have a four-way battle fairly soon, I reckon. The clock ticking down, though, so they haven't got too much time. They cross the line again. Let's have a look at the times. 1:44.5.
That just looks like so much fun.
Oh, yeah. And again, back comes the 68. Fowler back to the lead. And this is starting to heat up.
Fernetti's staying right with him.
Yeah, this is starting to heat up. And you know what? As these three at the front do this, look, Cash has caught right up. I knew it would happen. So now we've got a four-way battle. Down through the S's. And when they get down to the bottom of the S's at 5, they'll start to build up speed again up the hill and go through the gearbox. Here is turn 5. And now they start to build. Now, there is an opportunity to overtake at 6, but it's, I wouldn't say risky, but if you get it wrong, there's not a lot of places to go from there, and you lose a lot of time.
Yeah, we saw that at Petit Le Mans right there.
Yeah.
That disputed pass.
Now, that group that was a group is now 2 cars and 2 cars. Skylar Cottrell at the back of this one.
Christian Blevins, Alan Cross, Bill Miller, and Skylar Cottrell in that Pepto-Bismol pink. I hope he gets a sponsorship from Pepto-Bismol from this.
Yep.
Just trying to help him out,
Absolutely.
So Skylar can race with us more.
Well,
why wouldn't Pepto-Bismol sponsor that cool car?
Well, to go racing, you got to have the stomach for it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want indigestion when you're racing.
Here we go again. Frenetti looking for a way past into turn 10. Cash lost a little ground there, and for whatever reason in a straight line, he's just not as quick down that back straight, but you can see he catches up in the wiggly bits, as I say. This is fascinating racing because they're so close on times. Fastest lap, Tom Fowler, a 1:44.6. Let's see what they click through this time.
All right, so Mike, Weinbrenner is giving us, can we get lap times on the top 3? Do we have that technology?
144.6 by Tom Fowler, his last lap. Best lap, 144.67. That was the last lap from Tom Fowler. Robert Spence did a 145.3. That's his last lap. His best lap, a 144.6. And Anthony Finetti, 145.2, his last lap. His best lap, a 144.3. There you go.
Nice.
Well, and I should add, Mark Cash, his best lap, a 144.6. That's why he's just off the back of this group. But the fastest man so far on the last lap, Tom Fowler, with that 144.676. By the way, if you want to join and watch the timing yourself, download the app Race Monitor. Calhoun.
Delaney Calhoun. You know, I haven't seen Yusuf Muhammad out there. He's in the number 4.
What's his story?
I think he's right behind us. Yusuf Muhammad, this is his first time for Yusuf Muhammad to come and race with us. He's been racing Miatas for quite a while. I met him yesterday. Very interesting person, what he does in real life. He's an attorney in real life, and we hope to see him out here. He seems to be really fast and having a great time. But it was one of those conversations that I wish we could have spent more time talking. He's so interesting.
Well, this is... Now, when do they pull the pin? And what I mean by that is they've been racing quite happily in the peloton, as I call it, but together and pushing each other forward. But when do they say, right, all bets are off?
Usually when they get that last lap. At a track this long, all bets are off. But it's not like they're not racing right now. They're just jockeying for position and showing each other the line and what they're going to do. But then you're going to see it go up a notch, if you will, once we get that last lap sign.
Well, you got to hit your marks. That's the key. It may look as though they're not racing, but of course all of them are going through the gearbox and hitting their...
That's Christian Blevins we were looking at there, and that white number 67. So if you're looking at getting into racing or vintage racing, you know, there's an old saying now in the SCCA that the answer is always Miata, and I'd say if you want to start racing, look to this vintage spec Miata. My buddy Yusuf Muhammad, thank you so much for joining us. He's in that number 4. He was deciding between coming here or going to a race at AMP, and he decided to race with us for the first time. So, Yusuf, I hope we see you many more times.
He's 11th at the moment behind Delaney Calhoun. There he is.
It's a good race, though. See, I love this pack racing in these vintage series. So that's an NB versus an NA. I like the single stripe he's got going up the hood there. It's good stuff. And he's telling us he's turning right.
Oh, he's turning right. That's polite.
It is.
He obviously he clearly hasn't raced long if he's being that polite.
Yep.
So the clock ticking down on this Miata Heritage Cup.
And I've got breaking news.
Tell me.
We have timing and scoring on the SVRA app. So download the app. You could be watching this on your app, and you could get timing and scoring right there from the SVRA app that's available on Google Play or the Apple Store as Fowler ducks out.
Yeah, and Spence took the lead briefly as they crossed the line, but back goes Fowler. This is a really ding-dong battle down. Finetti's not done yet.
Finetti body roll. Look at that.
Yeah, he's looking for a way past as they go towards 2 and 3. Three-wheel racing at the moment as they dive through the S's.
Oh, Jonathan, you're going to have to give me your Australian accent because Peter Dunn has joined us on our broadcast.
G'day, Peter. Have you been to the Dunny?
I love it. So, Peter, thank you for joining us.
Mind if we call you Bruce?
And I love what I'm seeing from vintage racing in Australia and New Zealand, but especially the TA2 racing down in Australia. We've been following them, and we're on the final lap, so we're on the last couple turns here, Jonathan.
That's why everybody's getting a little bit more racy. This is going to – now all bets are off, as we said. They come out of 7. This is the long run down towards turn 10, which is really where it all happens here at Road Atlanta. That's the kink at 9. They'll pop into view any second now. Here they come. And when they do, then we're really going to see some action, I hope anyway. But it was all sorted out. Here they are. Look at this.
We look for Finetti
well, Cash
to
has
duck
dropped
out.
off. He's not going to be in. Finetti looks to the inside. Fowler still holding off Spence.
Ooh.
Spence can't do anything here.
Fowler's looking at the last turn, I think.
Well, Spence is going to try and get drive here, but I don't think he's done enough.
No.
Finetti might try an inside move here as they come towards 12 to finish this race. Oh no, last lap. So last lap
good.
now. So one more lap
Nice.
to go. Come on, boys.
You know, I love when the races go into overtime like that. So disregard the graphics.
Yeah.
Race control decided to just give us one more lap of this, and I love it.
And Finetti's coming alongside as they come into two, but he can't quite get close enough. And of course, these are all pretty identically prepared, which makes the racing so much better. But right now, Tom Fowler's starting to just eke ahead by a couple of lengths.
Anthony Fernetti, your SVRA sticker on the rear of your car is not going unnoticed. Thank you very much for that. Next time we'll give you a second off your qualifying time.
Oh, you are very, very generous.
Just tell Rick I said it was okay.
Okay.
Look at this. So Fowler's kind of taken off a little bit on us, Jonathan.
Yep. Well, he pulled the pin, didn't he? But I think also, with Finetti putting as much pressure as he is on Spence, I think that might have just unsettled Spence. And we'll again see the long run down from 7 to 8 for the final time. Mohammed looks as though he's going to finish in 11th place. Good start.
Look at Fernetti. He's pretty tight. Staying
He's very
with that
tight
NB and that NA.
Watch the white car in third place, folks. Out of 9 they come. Nip and tuck. Finetti goes to the outside. Spence will cover the inside. He's going to try to outbrake him, but Spence has got it covered. Nicely done. But it looks as though Tom Fowler is going to take the laurels and take the checkered flag. He comes down the hill for the last time. And it's been a great three-way race, four-way race if you include Cash. But at the checkered flag, it will be arms out from Tom Fowler, waves to the crowd. And Robert Spence takes second place. Anthony Finetti is in third. Mark Cash is fourth. Alan Cross is fifth. And Christian Blevins takes sixth place. Bill Miller is seventh. Skylar Cottrell in eighth. And Boris Said in ninth position for another good result in his first weekend out. And Delaney Calhoun takes 10th. And Youssef Mohammed takes 11th.
You know what? I have not been disappointed by a Mazda Heritage race yet. They are so much fun to watch. Close finishes like that. All 11 cars that started finished the race. We've had groups of 35 start the race and finish the race. Great racing. We didn't see any bumping out there, so all the vintage racers and fans that were hating on us with these Miatas, I think we've proven them wrong, and seeing that this is a viable option to get into vintage racing and bring more people into road racing, as we see the 17-year-old Skylar Cottrell right there. There's Boris Said Jr., I think 16 or 17 years old, racing with us. So this is the best way to get into racing. And if you want to get fast as a road racer, learn to drive a Miata fast. So good stuff as the leaders come down and they're giving each other air high fives as they pull up each other, and just, love these close races like this. Good stuff. So thank you, anybody involved in the Mazda Heritage Group. That's our last Mazda Heritage Group of 2020. So Nancy Fowler, I don't think this is a coincidence, says, "Woohoo, go Fowler." Did I read that right? With the exclamation.
So then, Tom Fowler, and woohoo it is, because he wins in the MB class. Robert Spence, Bob Spence takes second place. Anthony Finetti takes third. Mark Cash is in fourth position. Alan Cross is fifth. Christian Blevins sixth. Bill Miller in seventh place. Skylar Cottrell in eighth. Boris Said Jr. in ninth. And Delaney Calhoun rounds out the top 10 in our Miata Heritage Cup. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more action. We've got some Group 10 action coming up next. Stay with us.